the very same time in 1991. The Shoop Shoop song and Should I Stay or Should I Go charted together in 1991. And if you love 90s music, you are in the right place, because we got the 90s, noughties and today all here on OMG Radio.
Hey, it's me, it's Friday. This is another vlog and a little bit about what I was doing yesterday, because I got some questions on social media about what all of a sudden, oh, you do some radio stuff. It's like, yes, I do. Actually, radio is where I started. I started doing radio on independent local radio years ago. I'm talking like straight out of high school. I was like 17 when I got my first job at a radio station, and it spiraled from there, and I really love doing it. It's something that in the UK at least, a lot of the stations consolidated and they became a lot more celebrity focused. So the places that you could be on the radio with any real meaning kind of slowly got eaten up by larger companies, and that kind of put me off it for a little while. But there's been a resurgence recently of digital stations, of online stations, and there's English-speaking radio stations throughout the world that are niching down now, weirdly, almost like YouTube. They're niching down to be more specialist, to deliver content that is more aimed at particular listeners rather than being so bland and generic and anodyne that it just appeals to everyone. And I think there's an interesting possibility of moving into that market with some syndicated programming. So that's what I've been working on today. How did I get into independent local radio? By basically begging. And that's the truth. It was basically begging people. It was annoying people, writing letters at the time because there was no email. People didn't email, you wrote letters at the time. Sending in dodgy demo tapes and just trying to get yourself noticed and being prepared to do pretty much anything. Yes, I was on air. I was on air from almost immediately. One of my first, I got thrown in on a sports show with a guy called Keith Hazelton, and I was 17. I'd never done anything like that before. And he was like, "Would you like to read this?" I was like, yes, I would. And that's where it started. It was supposed to be just kind of a T-boy kind of job, kind of, cleaning out intern. We'd call it an intern these days, T-boy. But it was supposed to be that kind of thing, and it just spiraled really quickly into, you're quite good at this, and it's clearly you've been practicing, and I ended up with my own show. I ended up with a couple of shows on that station, and then it kind of spiraled. I ended up on other people's stations all around the country at one time or another. And yeah, I really enjoyed it. But yeah, you got into it by doing pretty much anything. And I will say, in those early days, it wasn't just like, bang, you're fantastic at this, we're throwing you in the deep end. There was a lot of being there for free. That was a big thing. Volunteering your time and doing pretty much everything. We rewired one building. I learned how to do that under the watchful eye of the guy that owned the radio station. It was genuinely a bit of everything. And going out on the roadshow rig, to cleaning up, to doing production stuff, building commercials for the station. And a lot of, to be honest, I will say a lot of it is just hanging around and being there at the right time. And it was a time when you could do that. And I don't think the industry is like that anymore. I think it's professionalized a lot. I think some of the grittier little stations are now very focused on being community stations. So they're less interested in kind of being the gruff, startup where they're prepared to be a bit different. I think they're now trying to be kind of more community focused, in the UK at least. But yeah, I think that's fun. One of the other questions I was asked, where the voice came from. And the voice, I don't think my speaking voice is that different from my radio voice. But I do know that I have a cadence when I'm speaking on the radio, and a way of speaking that is it's practiced, But that comes from wanting to be able to react to what's going on. So I started in my first couple of shows were sports and journalism based. And all of those shows have stuff coming in at a rate of knots. Like the data is changing all the time. You've got football results coming in. You've got live feeds coming in. You've got live reporters from places that are coming down the phone to you that you have to be at the right place. So, all of those things happen really quickly, and you build this idea of you can build a cadence and you have phrases in your head and you know how to string together so you can go from one line to another to another to another, building a show and building a piece of presentation to an audience where you don't necessarily know what's going to happen next. And that is a skill that you learn. And it helps to bring yourself and have like a stock level of phrases and cadences and liners that you could use to kind of work your way through very awkward and very flexible and fluid situations. And also it helps when things go wrong. Inevitably on the radio, things go wrong quite a lot. You get callers that are weird, you get CDs that would jump back in the day, and we had a computer system that some of the music came out of, which was awful at the start. It used to crash all the time, and it would crash mid-song, and then all of a sudden you go, oh, that woke me up. But yeah, so that's kind of where that came from. If you want to know more about what I've done on the radio, actually, I think that might make for an interesting kind of longer form video than this. I'd want to keep these vlogs quite short. If you're interested in that, drop me a comment, or say hello on Blue Sky. I'm on Instagram as well. I'm also on Threads now. I'm not on X because who wants to be on X these days? Anyway, that's me. It's Friday and I'm signing off for the night, and I hope you're having a great weekend. I'm not going to do vlogs over the weekend because I think it's healthy to have some time just to yourself. I think we're probably going to keep these to being maybe 5 in a week, and I'll figure out where I want them to be in the week. Sometimes there might be one on the weekend if there's something going on, but yeah. Anyway, subscribe, like, do all the YouTube stuff, and I'll see you in the next vlog. Bye.
Saturday Sport 106.8 Light FM.
Well, this is familiar. Neil Evans back with you on Saturday Sport all the way through till 6 on this sultry summer afternoon. We've got a packed programme for you today with all the latest action from the Premiership, with our featured match seeing West Ham face up to Leeds.